YouTube, Frost the Hobidon here, and today I'm back with another reaction to you all. And this is a very interesting one. It's from Josh Scorcher. Joshy boy, Josh Scorcher. Firebrand. Buddy, wasn't expecting you to do one of these. You decided to make a battle between StarFire from DC Comics and Blaze the Cat from Sonic the Hedgehog series of Sega. And Triple F. And didn't expect me to do a reaction to these. Well, lucky for you, Josh. I am a fan of your videos. I'm a fan of your works and opinions. And you doing amazing content. And you and your wife have done amazing, are very creative and talented. And I support you guys, and I wish nothing but good things towards y'all future. And I hope y'all doing well and having a wonderful day. I am a fan of both DC Comics and Sonic the Hedgehog series, so I know what I'm getting myself into when it comes to these characters and how the power scalings. Normally, I want to say StarFire would win this because you know how overpowered DC characters are in the main comic book universe. But you might surprise me. I might learn something new about Blaze that I thought I learned a lot more about Blaze because I grew up with the series. Because you know how Sega does not like exploring Blaze the Cat's world, only Sonic's, because Sonic is the main star. But other than that, the original video is linked in the description down below. Go support Josh Scorcher and the rest of Josh Scorcher and his wife and their channel. And link in the description down below. And yeah, if you want to watch this video for yourself, go ahead. I'll wait. I'll give you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get on to reaction, shall we? Support the official release in 3, 2, 1. Let's do this battle. I can't actually call DB because this isn't DB. So Josh Scorcher video, what you got for us? The Fiery Joker feature presentation. Nice. I need one of those.
Blaze the Cat, Princess of the Soul Empire, Protector of Dimensions, and Guardian of the Soul Emerald. That's
pretty much on point of what her character is. And according to Sega and Ian Flynn got from Sega that she is from the Soul Dimension, not from the future. You heard this right. She is not from the future. 06 is trying to be a continuity reboot. For some reason. I don't know why.
StarFire, Princess of Tamaran, Liberator of Slaves, and Heart of the Teen Titans.
While most
right
princesses
that is
bear
also
the mantle
true.
of demure politicians, some passionate sorts like to take a more hands-on approach in defending their realms.
Right.
Like these two purple-friendly neighborhood, wait, they're from another planet, fiery heroines.
Now, there are some fair questions as to what we are taking as canon in this.
Nah,
For
Sonic
StarFire, we are considering the main comics, aka StarFire Prime, as our primary source.
Right.
But if there are some things in supplemental material, such as
Okay, let's see. The rules. Combatants are assumed to have no clear knowledge of each other unless explanations has stated. Number 2, combatants are freed from any mortal restrictions against killing. All other personality traits are preserved. 3, while the combatants are maximum potential will be in key consideration, their concentration and demonstrations, those abilities is equally important. So I'm trying to read here. I'm trying to read here to see what the rules are. And 4, while potential battlefields can affect the verdict, other external factors unrelated to the combatants cannot. 5, unless otherwise specifics, all official material related to the characters is considered valid, provided it does not contradict the primary source material. And the battle considered when one combatant is killed or basically captured, and to the point where they cannot no longer fight.
or video games that don't flat out contradict the main series,
Right.
we're including it.
As for Blaze, as she's originally a video game character, we'll be taking her game appearances as our primary. But as long as there aren't any contradictions, we're also including the side games, IDW comics, and some snippets from Bumblecast as sub.
That also makes sense. IDW Sonic is considered side canon, connected to the video games, according to Ian Flynn, but mostly importantly to Sega themselves.
once.
So, no, we are not using the Archie Blaze here.
That also makes sense. The Archie universe is way different from the games, and it does not follow the game's timeline as well. Despite how overpowered certain characters are there, we're not using Archie Blaze.
Long story short, it actually makes the fight less interesting. He's Josh
That
and
is
I'm
true.
Aramau.
And we're here to analyze their
She gets
powers,
beat up a lot.
abilities, and stats to find out who would win a battle to the death.
Really?
Hey, it's legally distinct.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Take what you do best and create a website that's worthy of it. With AI website creation from Wix,
Beyond the stars lies an alien planet of humanoids, born with incredible strength and the inherent ability to absorb energy emitted from the sun and soar through the skies of their home. From this world, a savior, powerful and pure of heart, would arrive on our own planet, always holding back their immense strength for fear of hurting the innocent. Eventually, they would become a shining beacon of hope for the people of Earth. That's
Are we sure we're talking about the same one here? Because this sounds very similar to a certain DC character.
right. We're talking about
Princess Coriander of Tamaran. Cori, hey, that's our dog's name, was the second child of 3 siblings of
that's
Tamaran's
nice.
royal family. Oh, middle child syndrome. In royalty, no less. That historically turns out really well.
And here it's just as messy. Her elder sister, Commander, seemed ready to become queen. Before she could,
Okay, name, Crown Princess Coriander. StarFire translated. Coriander's authorized translation. Race, a Tamaranian. She is 6 feet and 4 inches tall. She weighs 158 pounds. Age, around Tamaranians, around 156 years in Tamaranian years, but 18 to 20 years in Earth years. Founding member and current leader of the Teen Titans. Prime ambassador of Borthrog and Mustard Essentials. Design inspiration. Marianne Monroe. I guess she was inspired by most of these people.
a childhood illness crippled her and
Comic book
she lost her
comic book
birthright.
writers do like to take
Commander
inspiration from
did
real life
not
people to
take this
design their
well.
characters.
She attempted and failed to kill Cori, resulting in her own banishment.
Did she learn her lesson? Pfft, lol,
Sadly,
lol.
no.
Commander allied herself with the Citadel, a ruthless slaver empire that invaded most of their local star system. With her new
Yeah.
ally, Space Scar here easily conquered Tamaran. But to ensure peace and the safety of his people, the king, her father, sold off his own baby girl to the Citadel as a slave. Dude,
Yeah.
not cool. Best dad judges you.
Well, in the king's feeble defense, it was either that or have all his people be taken prisoner. Plus, he likely didn't know what they'd actually do to Cori, as she was tortured and especially abused by Commander and the Citadel for 6 years.
Yay! That is terrible. That is messed up. And Starfire has been through a lot. And her terrible older sister is just downright despicable. Oh my goodness, no love from that. And after all these years, she still loves her sister, despite her older sister hates her. And yet we hear nothing from the... If you want to know, they have a younger brother, by the way. His name is Wildfire. Wildfire is like the youngest brother to those two. He's pure, innocent, caring, and wants peace for both his sisters. And Wildfire, until DC Comics, well, modern day DC Comics, decided to make him an evil, womanizing psychopath. Because they don't believe that a male character is nice these days. Certain activists took over and changed Starfire's little brother into a villain. It was really, really stupid. Modern day DC Comics can decide they can retcon and change things in the past that fits for modern day, while not realizing they are damaging their characters. So yeah, it's not looking good.
Until both sisters were kidnapped and experimented on by the sadistic scientist species known as the Scions.
They used both sisters as guinea pigs for their experiments to see how much energy a Tamaranian can absorb before exploding into a pile of alien guts. This
Yikes.
particular set of experiments went on for 10 Years. Suddenly
Years.
feeling like hugging my babies right now. 1 minute.
In an
don't blame
ironic
you.
twist, the Citadel invaded to free Commander, and during the ensuing chaos, Coriander was granted strange powers, which she promptly used to free herself and flee to the stars.
I don't blame
Soon
her.
she arrived on planet Earth, where she had a fateful encounter with the former sidekick of Batman, Robin. After that got sorted,
Dick
she would
Grayson.
find safety and camaraderie with other heroes like Raven, Beast Boy, and
The Titans
Cyborg.
we grew up
These
with.
weirdos and goofballs became her family away from home, and she decided to protect Earth under the alias StarFire. Ari, that's your cue.
I was getting baby huggies. Leave me alone.
You're lying.
The alias Starfire. You know, that's just the English translation of her name, right? Though wouldn't it have been funny if her superhero
That
name
is
was
true.
just the Spice Coriander? I mean, she is kind of spicy. Hehe.
Lie.
I mean, Starfire is her real name translated. Just like Thor's real name is Thor. Thor Odinson. Thor doesn't have a superhero name. It's just his name.
Anyways, over time and with a few adventures under their utility belts, these young underdogs would become known as the Teen Titans. Starfire proved to be an incredible asset to the Titans thanks to her alien physiology. Tamaranians are descended from a feline race. Yeah, really, what are the odds? And they're super strong, super fast, super
that I did
durable,
not
and can
know.
fly through the air. And because of the Scion experiments, she can fire beams of solar energy.
These solar rays are her starbolts. The only good thing to come from those horrific experiments. They can burn as hot as a star and
Okay, star bolts are varying color, which might indicate that how much power Starfire is putting into behind them. Green and yellow seems to be the higher in proxy, where pink can be her holding back. Okay. Also, fun fact about Tamaranians, they might mention it here. The reason that she does absorb sunlight from the skin. As sunlight touches her skin, she gets a boost in power. That's why she wears somewhat less clothing, but still acceptable but still visible in day. Nowadays, in modern day, they try to cover her up completely, so she's not getting as much power as she does in the modern day comics.
and even affect intangible beings. Over time, she learned to expel them from her body in dozens of creative ways, though she seems to favor the simple approaches of firing them through her eyes and from her hands.
She can shape them to use as energy
This also
shields,
explains why the
implode them to
Titans
suck in
TV
nearby
show
energy, or even
has the
focus
weakest
all the
version of
energy she has
Starfire.
into an omnidirectional supernova.
Rain's physiology, radiation absorption. Flight does not need to eat, drink, or sleep unless low on energy. Extremely hot body, no pun intended. Nah, I get it. Extreme heat resistance, mental telepathic resistance, immune to vaporation. So you can breathe in space, basically. Orcan training, hand-to-hand combat, pressure point techniques, and basic first aid.
Which can instantly vaporize people arguably more powerful than she is. However,
Right.
it's incredibly draining to use, so it's a bit of a desperation move. Starfire
Like Superman's
is hot,
super flare.
figuratively and
This version of Starfire is the weakest version there is. The Titans show did not capture these characters right at all.
very literally, as the flames that burst from her literal metal-melting body can survive in the vacuum of space and last from planet to planet.
Right.
Similar to Kryptonians, Tamaranians can absorb
There you go.
energy, specifically ultraviolet radiation, which is nice because our sun gives off plenty of that. Usually after just a few hours of sunbathing, she's in good shape for a few days. While Starfire can absorb other types of energy or radiation to fuel her own abilities, such as solar or electromagnetic, if it's too foreign to what she's used to, then it could exhaust her or put her into a coma.
That said, she adapts to it pretty quickly once she wakes up. She also has some other powers that seem kind of left field, like astral projection, mental resistance, or learning any language by lip
While Tamaranians are stated, oh wow, good pause there. That's a fun pause there.
contact. That must have made Rob
Yeah. While Tamaranians are stated to have telepathic immunity, Starfire has been affected by those abilities before, such as Darkseid's mind control. Yet multiple continuities make it more as strong as resistance than a outright immunity.
Robin feels so special when he found that out, huh?
Even without
Yeah.
her powers, she's deft in both hand-to-hand combat and swordsmanship due to her Tamaranian and Okaran training, as well as sparring with members of the Justice League. She's beaten Wonder Girl a few times, and an already incredibly skilled swordsman couldn't track her. So he ended up losing his hands.
Ooh.
Yikes.
After some time, Star proved herself to be a decent leader of the Titans. And why wouldn't she? She's clearly the glue that
She
holds them
deserved it.
together, as every time she leaves, no really, every single
Rinsma is a Tamaranian worlds meeting in time where close friends drift apart and their friendship begins to die, and means plan. Kaku means plan.
time, the Teen Titans fall apart. Rekmaz indeed.
Yeah, Starfire often
She
comes
values
across
friendship.
as a naive airhead, but pretty much all her faux pas are caused by simple culture shock. In fact, Star is deceptively clever and has quite a few tactical
Yes, she is.
successes under her belt, even though she's clearly more comfortable deferring to more experienced people's plans rather than making up her own.
Sure, most initiative Corey takes usually boils down to hit it really hard, but when you're tanky enough to survive a blast from Sinar and powerful enough to blast through a ship built to survive supernovas, do you need to be strategic all that often?
She also
For some
crashed through
characters,
a
probably.
skeletal
You're right.
Trigon skull. Keep in mind, a being with a tenth of his power is easily capable of destroying a universe. She's fought at the level of other
Yeah,
DC
Trigon's
heavy
no joke.
hitters like Firestorm, several Lantern Corps members,
Firestorm is a character who can basically change change elements, and basically can do a lot of things with his powers. Change the elements of a certain other element, like changing certain elements of kryptonite into another. Basically create what you need, and the molecules as well. It's extremely powerful.
Hunters,
Extremely
and
powerful.
even held her own against Wonder Woman.
Yeah, the same Wonder Woman that helped pull Earth back into orbit. The same Wonder Woman who regularly outfoxes the tactical genius and God of
Yep.
War Ares. And the same Wonder Woman who deflected every piece of the Shattered God flying across the DC universe.
At minimum,
Yep, that's
the
the
DC
Wonder Woman.
universe is 100 trillion light years across, but more recent calculations put that number at 56.77 nonillion. At the low end, that puts Wonder Woman's speed at 56 quintillion times faster than light. At the high end, well, that puts her at, give or take, 1.5 undecillion times the speed of light.
So Death
So yes,
Battle rules
Starfire
here.
briefly held her own against
Death
that
Battle numbers
Wonder
here.
Woman twice. Okay,
But it
yes,
is accurate.
Diana wasn't going all out in their scuffle, so Star's probably not that fast. As
Yeah, let's be honest. Diana was holding back. If she were to go full power, yeah, Diana would win. And no longer hold back, yeah, Starfire would die.
especially considering it consistently takes her
They
some
made
time
Wonder
to fly
Woman
back
too
26
overpowered that
light
she
years
has
to
no
Tamaran's cosmic
weaknesses.
neighborhood. But hey, Star can still tag people like Jessie Quick. Sure, she's a lower tier speedster, but she's a lower tier DC speedster. Context
That's right.
matters.
Starfire can survive the
DC
equivalent of a
characters'
Chernobyl
speedsters are
meltdown in her
broken.
face and could
Destroyed a Brainiac ship, crashed through Trigon's skull, consistently matched Donna Troy, the first Wonder Girl. Briefly held off Wonder Woman, Dark Raven, Superboy, General Zod, and Mongol. Tanked a cosmic storm and gigantic-sized black hole. Survives the blast from a universe buster like Sinner, Orin. Eventually created a utopia for Tamaranians.
even survive a cosmic storm that was moving the trillions of light years sized DC universe off balance and threatened to create an unprecedented warping in the space-time continuum.
Starfire got knocked around a bit, but she was mostly fine. You can see why
Right.
it's no surprise that she's often referred to as the strongest Titan. I know Josh was joking at the start, but it really feels like she's the closest we've gotten to a true female Superman, in personality and in powers.
Make no mistake,
You know what? I
Starfire's
would believe
capable
it.
of godlike feats.
Oh, Animal Man, what are you
that
doing there?
comic is really on the nose. But unfortunately, that power is often turned against her. Plus, Corey's caring heart causes her to both bullheadedly charge into danger and hold back her power, often making her a liability in a team fight. Clever foes can and do take advantage of this, and as a result, she's
do that a
lost
lot.
many of her battles. And that's not getting into some of her less appealing outings.
No. No. We do not speak of this. The writer who made this, I'm Not Starfire, made this character here. She's a self-insert. She does not like Starfire at all as a character. The absolute terrible writing in this book. She views this as a kid's book, and yet there's a lot of cursing in a kid's book. This is a terrible story. People do not like this. No one likes this. This is one of the worst stories, one of the worst DC products ever that DC even approved of. This was a failure. We do not mention this crap.
Josh, what in the anatomically borked Liefeld did they do to my baby?
Unfortunately, writing Corey has proven challenging, as she has many traits that are difficult to balance. Many
Yes.
writers have succeeded, but others often lean too heavily on one or the other, leading to flanderization such as New 52 or...
Yeah.
Nope, out of my house. Give me that. Not in this studio, Satan.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
that
actually had
too.
to watch it. You know how many episodes of that there are? So many. Butts.
Most importantly, Starfire's
Oh,
power
boy.
has
Yeah,
a lot
that-
of
I feel so sorry for you,
caveats.
man.
For one, while she can fly much faster than light,
Weakness. DC's biggest jobber. That, you know what? After hearing what I'm hearing, yeah. Allergic to mental hormone as results into uncontrollable explosive sneezes. Interstellar travel several fatigues her. Energy, vulnerability to extreme temperatures are as low as energy. Burns through energy faster than Kryptonians. Limit the amount of energy she can absorb.
doing that leaves her so fatigued she'll pass out for days or even weeks. Second,
She gets
without a
tired when she
consistent source
drains her
of
energy.
ultraviolet light, she risks quickly burning through all her stored energy. And thirdly, her powers are connected to her emotional state. If she feels driving emotions like joy or righteous fury, her powers often get stronger, even entering a berserker state of extreme strength and nigh invulnerability, allowing her to briefly surpass Donna Troy.
Okay, Teen Titans Starfire stated that her power increases from righteous fury, especially in alternate universes where she's sadistically enforcer. She dies in simple train explosions, suggesting that the emotions of sadness weakens her powers.
Troy and
So her powers
Mon-El
are basically powered by
combined. If she were to
emotions.
feel stifling emotions like despair,
If she's in a
fear,
positive
confusion, or
personality,
even
she
feel
would do
nothing,
well.
her powers greatly weaken.
But that's not really a huge deal, as it's only gotten that bad, like, never, I think. In fact, her cheerfulness is so indomitable that she achieved the power of a blue lantern, the lantern core of hope.
Yep.
Remember, lantern rings can create light-based constructs from anything in the wielder's imagination. Heck, one time Jon Stewart created a whole solar system with his. Speaking of,
That is
whenever a
powerful.
blue lantern is around a green lantern, it unlocks literally the most power in the lantern core emotional spectrum. And yeah, Starfire had access to one of those. Until Hal Jordan confiscated the ring, that jerk.
What? Why?
Well, he felt she was too young.
That doesn't sound right. Let me see that. Ari, this is a comic for kindergartners.
And it's canon, it's still Starfire, and that other legally distinct show has taken from weirder sources.
Ari.
No, you're giving me this. It makes perfect sense. Her own flesh and blood sold her into torture and has tried to kill her on multiple occasions. Even her
Yeah?
best friend tried to kill her on her wedding day, and she's still a bright ray of sunshine.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that.
Corey has every reason to hate the world, heck, even to destroy it. And you're
That is
telling
true.
me she's not worthy of being a Blue Lantern when she can look at a heartless bigot who views her as less than nothing and would rather die than be saved by her and still say,
You may not value my life, but I still value yours.
That scene makes me like Starfire even more. And having her lantern ring taken away from her, I'm not sure if that took place in New 52, because New 52, Hal Jordan is a jerk. An absolute jerk. Then again, most of the characters in the New 52 are absolute jerks.
Yeah, Hal did her dirty.
exactly. Checkmate.
Hal
After
Jordan,
taking back her home planet,
Earth
joining the
52,
Justice
Hal
League,
Jordan
and also
sucks.
raising a family of her own, Starfire would be recognized as a burning glory for those in need. When you see a woman in the sky with hair of burning flame, no evil will fall behind her might and her smile.
Aw, how nice. Alright, now it's Blaze the Cat's turn.
Multiverse theory posits that we are all living in just one variation of countless universes, full of alternate versions of
Then again, I'm
each
not sure
and
if it was
every
New
one.
52,
And
Hal
some
Jordan that took
might
away
be
that
a
Blue
famous
Lantern,
football
or it
player,
was
or Aramau could
before
like
the
Teen
New
Titans Go.
52.
Horrifying. But in the world of Sonic lies
I
an
saw that
alternate
Zor-
dimension
I
of
saw
our
that
favorite blue
Zorro
hedgehog,
image
the Soul
from
Dimension. It's not that much
Zorro
different.
image.
I mean, it even has its own version of the Egghead. Biggest
I
difference is
agree.
that in this version, Sonic is a purple cat girl princess. Yeah, it's weird that there's two. If I had a nickel for...
This is
I see
Blaze,
it.
a descendant of a royal family who have protected their sacred treasure, the jeweled scepter, for generations.
But
From
her
birth,
koala-
Blaze
her
is
guards
gifted
of
power over
koalas.
fire, so she
Alright, name in Princess Blaze. Species Mobian cat. Although Sega can't use the word Mobian because that's an Archie thing. It's called anthropomorphic cat, basic is what she is. She's 3 feet and 1 inch tall. 130, 50, she weighs 59 59.5 pounds. She's 14 years old. Rank Imperial Princess of the Soul Empire, Guardian of the Soul Emeralds, and the Jewels. Don't forget the Jewel Scepter. Not a hugger, and really hates pirates. Well, lucky for her, all the pirates in the Soul Dimension are gone. She basically brought peace to her world. She's just vacationing in Sonic's world now. That happened in IDW. From an alternate dimension, and part of Silver's bad future? Question mark? That's not happening. That was Sonic 06 was supposed to be a reboot because of Shadow the Hedgehog's violent nature. They decided to reboot the video game. They decided to reboot the whole series. It did not go well. So yeah, she is from the Soul Dimension, not from the future.
She could eventually become the guardian of the Jeweled Scepter, as well as the Soul Emeralds, a dimensional counterpart to the Chaos Emeralds.
Too
And I got the
bad she
Glaze
just couldn't
Emeralds.
actually control her powers, like, at all. And it kind of made any potential
And I got the
friends
Glaze
shun her,
Emeralds.
just because she didn't automatically know how to control flames that literally shoot out of her soul. Kids bully each other for the dumbest reasons. Like,
Yes,
can
they do.
you do it? I don't think so.
Because of that, Blaze would come to see her
Kids are
powers
so
only
cruel.
as
They can
a
sense
curse,
they can
coupled
sense
with
weakness.
the political duties of princesshood, rife with people lying to her every day. She grew up lonely, mistrustful, and bitter. But everything changed when Eggman came to her dimension
This
and
mustache
stole the Soul
moron.
Emeralds. Thanks to her connection to said emeralds, Blaze was able to follow him. She knew what she had to do: retrieve the emeralds she was sworn to protect and return home.
Unfortunately, a lifetime of isolation and independence made her butt heads with everyone who could possibly help her, like Knuckles, who she chumped and left buried under a pile of rocks. After
Yeah, she
learning what it
left
truly
him to
means
be
to have
buried.
friends from Cream.
Blaze's origins differs between regions. She's a princess of America and implied that she's a princess in Japan. There is a distinction in Europe. She's from the future, where everyone has powers, likely inspired by the Fleetway version of the comics. Yeah, that is also. I forgot she was in Fleetway, the Fleetway Online. That she's from the future. They took that as they went for the 06 route. That's probably the first time they ever heard of Blaze the Cat was from Sonic 06, because they never played the DS version.
Of all people, not Twilight Sparkle, and the Blue Blur himself knocking a little sense into her, she learned that sometimes it's okay to trust others with the fate of the world.
After Rush, Blaze returned to her home dimension and would find herself encountering Sonic on many more occasions, fighting more villains, making new friends, and becoming a recurring member of the cast. She even became a part of Team Rose.
Replacing the other purple cat. Good.
Oh, don't do that. Don't be mean to Big. Big is not that bad. People hate Big the Cat because of the Sonic Adventure gameplay. Big is just a chilled guy who likes to fish, and yeah, Sega does not know what to do because he's also a powerhouse. People forget the important thing about Big the Cat is that he is also a powerhouse. He's one of the strongest characters in the Sonic universe. Like lifting a car from station to square and throw it all the way to the ocean, like it's nothing, like it's a baseball to him. He is a huge powerhouse, and people underestimate how strong Big the Cat is. He is a nice guy. He likes to chill. He relaxes. His pet Froggy finds him good locations to fish, and he just wants you to not to take things too harshly. He's very calm and relaxed. The whole people saying that he always loses Froggy, the whole thing he's using Froggy, that was because Froggy was running away from him because he was possessed by an angry version of Chaos. Froggy was possessed by Chaos, filled with anger and rage. Froggy actually likes Big the Cat. I don't know, once you remove Chaos out of Froggy, yeah, Froggy hangs out with Big a lot. Big just likes to leave. Froggy likes to leave to find fishing spots for Big the Cat to fish at. And the fact that you're saying that Big is looking for Froggy, that's because Sega does not know what to do with him. Sega has no idea what to do with Big the Cat. So they make up that excuse that he's looking for Froggy because that's the running gag. And I'm sick and tired of it, really.
Call.
Blaze is an Olympic-level athlete and acrobat with uncanny spatial
Yes,
awareness.
she is.
Over time, she's
Pyrokinesis, axe jump, axe tornado, burst dash, burst hover, fire boost, fire claw, flame pillar, spinning claw, fireballs, flight, fire manipulation, immune, and senses. Can erase lesser beings with fire. Physical powers, Olympic acrobatics, hand-to-hand combat, super speed, limited tune force. hammer space, and can survive being flattened. Yep, Sega people forget that there's some Toon Force elements in Sonic's world, even though Sega's trying to abandon that, which is probably why. That's probably why it explains why Mario characters are stronger and more powerful than Sonic characters, because their durability. They accept their Toon Force, while Sonic is slowly abandoning it.
Learn to master her pyrokinetic abilities and use them in conjunction with her
If
physical
I'm wrong,
skills.
let me know.
She's got all kinds of moves, but most often
Power-ups, rings, temporary invincibility, enhances durability, innate speed up to 999, loses 20 per hit, magnetic shield, item boxes, attract, confusion, invincibility, stun, ring time, wisp, laser, drill, and indigo.
Blaze uses her flames and
Asteroid.
ballet-like acrobatics to spin like a fiery Tasmanian devil. She can propel
I
herself with
remember that
bursts,
I
fly through
remember
the
that
air,
glitch.
dash fast enough to create after images, shoot fireballs, and I think she teleported there. Jury's out on that one. Ian Flynn won't return my calls.
This deep connection
Yeah,
with flames not
Ian
only
Flynn's
allows you
busy.
to erase less
He won't return your calls because Ian Flynn is kind of working on some stuff, other books, and the DC and Sonic crossover right now, which I need to do. Maybe I do a review on that. I'm not sure.
beings of fire, but it allowed her to seal within her the entity known as Iblis, the raw power of the multiversal threat Solaris. This demon burned
Even
the
though
entire planet.
Given that the former host, Princess Elise, didn't have pyrokinesis in a way, it's unlikely that Blaze's powers are created by Iblis. Comes from Iblis. Argued by Iblis? Augmented by Iblis? I might have said that wrong. But then again, this is a continuity this Sonic 06 was supposed to be a reboot of the whole series. So it's no longer canon, and no one remembers these events. Sega stated that she is from the Soul Dimension.
And left it in a state of ruin for 200 years.
Hang on, if she's just from another dimension, how did Blaze manage to be in Silver's apocalyptic far future? Or be a descendant of a well-known historical figure in Mobian history?
Well,
okay, for the I can explain the whole why she's in Sonic and the Black Knight. It's just a storyboard character. Sonic's in it, and certain characters are just played by certain Sonic characters. And they it's not how Tails is Alibaba in Secret Rings and Knuckles is Sinbad in Secret Rings. They just have Sonic characters to play certain roles of the characters in the stories. It's not really Blaze in that.
well, several sources assert that Blaze actually originates from the future, but something happens after or during the events of Sonic 06.
The events of Sonic 06 aren't retconned, and it's taken place. Elise is familiar with Sonic and other after Solaris erasure. Sonic recalls the events in Team Sonic Racing and City Crisis, and Mephiles appearing in Sonic X Shadow Generations. The reason why City Crisis was mentioned because fans thought City Crisis was the best stage in Sonic Generations, so that's why it's there. Plus, they needed something that represents the 15th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. Mephiles entering Sonic X Shadow Generations, they needed more boss fights for Shadow. It is clear Shadow in that game stated he does not remember who Mephiles is, but he acknowledged that he is a threat. Mephiles knows who he is, but Shadow does not, because the whole erasure of the events of Sonic 06 is gone. But it shows that, and the time meter is so powerful, he can just wreak events that has been erased. So Mephiles will never show up ever again. Besides, why would you want Mephiles to show up? Mephiles' main goal is to kill everyone in the Sonic universe and destroy all life in the timeline. So keeping him no longer exists would be a good idea. But Sega has stated that she is from the Soul Dimension, not from the future. It's just 06 was trying to be a reboot. If Sonic 06 was canon throughout the whole timeline, that means Elise had that blue Chaos Emerald since Sonic 1. And in 40 years, Shadow must have woke up out of Prison Island, snuck out, went to Soliana, probably thought the food was good, helped the Duke seal Mephiles away, went back to his sleeping tube, for 10 years later, Eggman will release them kicking off Sonic Adventure 2. In the words of Some Call Me Johnny, time travel is bullcrap.
That something causes Blaze to be reincarnated as the Soul Dimension's princess 200 years before Silver's time. We just don't have confirmation of what that something is yet.
And if Solaris got erased from time, is Iblis still in her soul or not? Oh, I do not envy the rider who has to untangle this timey-wimey Gordian knot.
Ugh. Anyways, like Sonic, Blaze has access to
They already
several
settled
different
that.
power-ups, such as shields, mind-affecting items like stun or confusion. She also has
Those
ring
are
time,
very
which
helpful.
can transform enemies into rings, and when she was teleported to Eggman's amusement park, she had access to 3 specific wisps.
The cyan laser grants an enormous speed boost and rips through enemies like paper. The yellow drill can easily move underground, making it great for surprise attacks. And the indigo asteroid reduces everything into rubble within its vicinity.
But even
she does
without
have wisps.
power-ups, she's managed to keep
The victor of Blaze and Sonic Spite in Sonic Rush depends on the character's point of view. It can assembly ends in a stalemate after Blaze was calmed down.
up with Sonic, who, need we point out, has some insane feats under his belt. Sonic can escape
the
whole
button mashing
dimensions just
insane.
by running, or defeat villains like Infinite, who can create dimensions that go on infinitely in base form. But one of the biggest would come from Sonic's friends, as they reacted to Solaris' fusion, which conjured a light that consumed the universe in 23 seconds. At minimum, that's 120 quadrillion times faster than light. And that's not even accounting for the fact that
You know what?
Solaris
That sounds
exists
about right.
in all time, past, present, and future.
And considering Blaze was able to catch Knuckles off guard and fought Sonic to a stalemate, Blaze can keep up with all of that. And
Yes, Sonic and his friends continuously get more powerful over time. That is true. Sonic characters get stronger over the years, and they do get stronger throughout their adventures. Like Sonic needs Super Sonic to beat Perfect Chaos. Now, Sonic can beat Perfect Chaos without the Chaos Emeralds. Yeah, and Sonic, in his own words, against Infinite, unlike mechs, I can grow, I get more powerful every second. He means it. They're getting stronger and faster, so experience and growth in power. They're getting a small Zenkai boost in power. Sonic and his friends escape over the foes like Perfect Chaos, like I said, and Metal Overlord. Shadow can beat Metal Overlord in Sonic X Generations, even though he has his Doom powers. Even though Metal Overlord can stop Chaos Control, Shadow still defeated him. Able to defeat characters without their super forms, this sudden jump in power is indicated that Blaze can be just as powerful as well. And this most powerful feat right here is Sonic versus Emerald, who has all the Chaos Emerald's energy.
even before Sonic met Blaze, he'd fought Emerald, who absorbed enough Chaos energy to power the final Egg
See what I
Blaster.
mean?
That sucker
This
destroyed a
happened in
whole
Sonic Battle, and yet people
constellation.
don't realize
Considering
that.
the distance and gravitational binding of each star, that's worth at least 465 exafo, or 465 quintillion supernovas. That kind of power can blow up galaxies, or even shake the entire universe. But her greatest power lies within the gems she was destined to protect. The Soul Emeralds. These debatably sentient jewels are often compared to the Chaos Emeralds, and have similar capacities of unlocking unlimited power.
Basically, they're like Chaos Emeralds, but fiery, and shaped like actual cut emeralds, and tied more to order than chaos, and can warn about upcoming cataclysms.
That's right.
And if you don't know what you're doing with them, they
While Archie Blaze isn't being used in this matchup, the Archie Comics panels show the analysis is the canon analysis of Blaze's Soul Emeralds' power. Yeah, that's true.
explode in your face. Okay, there's actually quite a few differences, but the overall power level is the same in the ways that actually matter. They also grant Blaze
That's
her most
true.
powerful transformation, Super Blaze!
Actually, it's Burning Blaze.
Does it matter? It does exactly what Supersonic does with Sonic. It increases
While Memory Restoration was thought of a power of Burning Blaze, this was a review by Sega as a report by Ian Flynn in the Bumblecast. So yes, keep in mind, Ian Flynn listens to what Sega Japan has to say. Tell them Ian Flynn does not call the shots. He writes the story and just following what Sega is telling him what to do. So people getting mad at Ian Flynn, they need to calm down. Sega is in control, but he's just following what Sega's telling him to do. Speaking of which, Blaze got the Soul Emeralds that controls fire, and I got the Glaze Emeralds that controls ice. It's my own version, so it's not really, it's my own canon series for my own thing. I get my character an own transformation, and yeah, I don't who needs a super form or burning form? I got a freezing form. Freezing frost is what I call this form.
Is their strength, speed, and durability to absurd
I'm just having fun.
Burning Blaze shot a jet of flame that instantly vaporized a large ship of the Egg Fleet. Given the
This happened in
vapor point of
IDW, the
basic
Metal Sonic
steel,
story.
That fire would have to be at least 3,000 to 6,000 degrees
fiery
Celsius with an
Kamehameha.
explosive pressure of at least
I mean, how else
100,000
are you gonna
psi.
For context, that's a
describe
fire
that?
blast as hot as a red dwarf star delivered with the force of a nuke. And that's
I can
the
do the same thing with my ice
minimum,
powers.
considering many ships of the fleet can withstand multiple attacks from the multi-solar system power of base Sonic. So this flame was likely hotter than a blue sun with a zetapho of power behind it. She can also smash through meteors moving at...
That's
Josh,
insane.
how fast is she going here?
Well, considering this is happening in a wildly fluctuating dimensional rift where neither time nor space functions properly,
I remember
as
this boss
Burning
fight.
Blaze, her speed
Wrapped
is
in Black, that song.
technically immeasurable.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's
While in the
immeasurable.
Exception Rift, Supersonic and Burning Blaze fought the Egg Salamander, which had already drained the Chaos and Soul Emerald's energies to power it. The two Eggmans planned to use their powers to collapse and merge Sonic's and Blaze dimensions to form a dream Eggman land that transcends dimensions. Given how smart the guys are, I believe them, especially since those two did the impossible and managed to unleash an attack that actually bypassed Superform invincibility.
And that's
Right.
not even the craziest part. Before this, Blaze had
Get
given
outta
up
here, Memphis,
all hope of
Tennessee.
victory since the Soul Emeralds had been drained of their power. Sonic, who's definitely had this sort of thing happen before, then makes her realize that the Soul Emerald's power comes from special bonds, thus completely recharging the Soul Emeralds.
Wait. Are you saying that the power of friendship restored the multiversal strength of the Soul Emeralds? Those ponies really are onto something. Seriously, when did this turn into MLP? And it tracks, as Sonic, Shadow, and Silver Superforms were able to fight
I
against
mean, you're not
Solaris,
wrong
a
about that
superdimensional
part.
life
The
form
power
that
of
would
friendship-
consume all existing timelines of
the
all
power of
dimensions.
friendship is no
Sonic
joke at this
Superform
point.
could also fight the Time Eater,
Both in
which
anime-
nearly erased all of time and space of their franchise's cosmology.
That
And
is also
even
true.
then, all that pales in comparison
Oh yeah, Sonic Frontiers. Currently, the canon path of Sonic Frontiers is questionable. However, since the end, that's the end, that's the name of the final boss, results are the same in two storylines. We are treating both of these games based on the DLC story as canon in this analysis. Well, good for you. One more thing, Josh. The DLC boss fight with Supersonic 2. Ian Flynn has stated from Sega that is the official ending. That is the true ending in Frontiers. Mostly because people were kind of disappointed in the original boss fight. That was a game of shoot 'em up.
to defeating the End, which referred to itself as Infinite
Yeah,
compared
people did
to
not like
Sonic's
this boss
past
fight.
adversaries, as well as calling Supersonic something that transcends law and time. And considering Blaze fought Sonic on even ground,
Stalemate with Sonic the Hedgehog, KO Knuckles, even though Knuckles is strong enough to lift 500 tons and more. It is stated that Knuckles' strength is equal to Sonic's speed, so Knuckles is one of the strongest characters in Sonic. So that's an impressive feat for Blaze to manage to KO Knuckles.
and the Soul Emeralds
Destroyed
are
most of the Egg
comparable to
Fleet,
the
defeated the
Chaos
Ex-Salamander,
Emeralds, she
Wizard,
has access
Dr.
to all that
Captain Whiskers
power.
with Sonic's
Well,
help.
most of it anyway. The Soul Emeralds don't seem to have their versions of common Chaos abilities, or if they do,
Shadow.
Blaze hasn't used them yet. That's kind of weird.
That's what I
We've
like
seen
to
Chaos
see.
Control with the Chaos Emeralds and Chronos Control using a Time Stone.
Yo, we ain't Chronos Control. We're not. That's from Archie comics. That never happened in the games. Only the Archie comics. I wish that would be a good example of how Silver was able to time travel. But according to Sega, Sega stated that Silver just has the ability to time travel. They don't explain it how. He just has the ability to do so to his timeline, to the current time where Sonic and his friends are.
Shouldn't there be like a Soul Control?
Theoretically,
I would love to
yes,
see that.
But either Blaze doesn't know that the technique exists, or it doesn't exist at all
I haven't-
because it hasn't been shown yet.
I haven't done a glaze control with my glaze emeralds. Although I do freeze time. When I freeze time with ice freeze, everything looks frozen in time. While I was able to move around. Another secret, another known fact about my abilities, my ice powers with the glazed emeralds. But I haven't done anything more than that.
Really? That sort of idea
Besides it
just
boosting
writes
my ice
itself. You'd
powers.
think they'd jump on that.
Agreed, but as it stands,
Just for having
the
one,
Soul
it just
Dimension is a place
boosts my
we
ice powers.
unfortunately don't know that much about, and the stuff we do know is pretty limited. For instance, the Jeweled Scepter that Blaze guards apparently contains more power than the Chaos and Soul Emeralds, but
Yeah, the Jewel Scepter is the Soul World's version of the Master Emerald. It's very powerful.
we've seen so little of it, we don't know what it's fully capable of. We do know a bit about Blaze, though, both her strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, Blaze is more emotionally stable and works better with a team nowadays, but she can fall back into old habits when no one's around to offer a second opinion.
Yeah, she's very has a hard time trusting others. She's very serious in her stuff. So that is one of her things. So people like Amy Rose and Cream the Rabbit and Sonic get her to open up. Even Marine the Raccoon helps her to open up. And I wish we do more of Marine. Marine, she has grown up more mature. And the IDW comics has shown that she fully supports Blaze the Cat and works harder to be more mature and helpful. And then Sega just abandons her. They want her to be forgotten. But I never forget. And many fans like Marine.
Still a far cry from how she used to act, or in the Archie comics,
Just likes hot
cheese
food, huh?
princess who's
Can't
spitting
cook?
your morning tea.
Also, like the
She's
other
a jobber in
supervillains
Archie
the series,
comics.
the God-slaying, dimension-shattering, burning blaze transformation does have a time limit and isn't truly invincible. Hit her really, really hard and you can stun her or knock her back. Though one of her biggest weaknesses is a
that's
rather
true.
odd one. She has a fear of heights.
Wait, seriously? But she's fighting in space. That's like a bajillion feet in the air. How?
Yeah, Sonic's afraid of water. Blaze is afraid of heights. Yeah. What am I afraid of? I have a certain fear. I'm not used to the summer heat. The fire attacks does weaken me. And as a kid, I used to be afraid of needles. I'm sure that I've kind of grown out of that fear a long time ago.
How could you be afraid after that?
Well, it likely took a lot of mental discipline to overcome, because as long as she focuses on ignoring how high she is, her acrophobia isn't triggered.
So wait, she runs on a souped-up version of Don't Look Down?
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's like Sonic and his hatred of water. I know she's supposed to be the alternate
don't think
universe
Sonic
Sonic, but the
hates
only
water,
things
he
she
just
seems to
don't
have
like
in
getting
common with
wet.
him are that they're both brave, confident, speedy heroes. They're so different, yet weirdly similar.
Well, it's more than just that. Everything about Blaze and Sonic make them perfect foils. The Soul and Chaos Emeralds that they're respectively connected to are described like North and South poles.
So basically, the Chaos Emeralds are the North Pole, and the Soul Dimension is the Soul Emeralds are the South Pole.
Seemingly opposed yet essential to each other's existence.
Yeah, they even got
Blaze,
that right.
embodying the flame, is complemented by Sonic, the embodiment of wind,
Where do I
whose
match in?
oxygen fuels the fire. Blaze is a disciplined,
East
solemn
and west?
royal with a
Probably
serious
from the east and
attitude,
west.
contrasting Sonic, a spontaneous, free-spirited, and fun-loving vagrant.
Okay, wind, fire, masculine, feminine, wandering vigilante, honorable royalty, chaotic good, lawfully good, chaos, soul, breakdancing fighting style, ballet fighting style, spinning attack, virtual, horizontal, fear, is fear of water, fear of heights, super forms, gold hair and red eyes, red fur and yellow eyes, motives, adventure, responsibility, speech, casual, formal, free-spirited, disciplined, personality, enthusiastic and introvert and stoic and serious, temperament, level-headed and aggressive, MPTI, NIFP, or ISTAJ, mental strengths, people smart and instructive, book smart and deductive, social anxiety, trusting and affordable, suspicious and security, Lennox, merciful and ruthless.
out. Even their combat styles and transformations, Blaze's balletic grace versus Sonic's breakdance-like fluidity, Burning Blaze's red and yellow versus
I always like
Supersonic's
Sonic's breakdancing
yellow
fighting
and red.
style.
They're opposites, but not in opposition. Like yin and yang, it's a perfect parallel harmony.
Anti-Blaze would be kind of likewise very reckless and bold
Bumblecast
and
2022.
in your face.
So almost like Sonic, but cranked up to 11.
Wow, they really put a lot of thought into this. Blaze tries to give off that air of the stoic, duty-bound royal, but deep down, she's just a burned soul who wants to give this whole friendship thing a genuine shot. As long as she lives, Blaze will protect the emeralds, her dimension, and her new friends at any cost, even her own life.
She's that good. All right, let's get on to the battle.
And that's it for the evidence. Before we get started, what do the fans think about this matchup?
Well, according to their votes, it appears the people believe StarFire is going to handily win this.
Oh, wow. Well, let's see what the fighters have to say about it.
It's
Yeah.
time for a legally distinct battle to the death. I'm working on it.
You'll work. Yeah, I don't worry, you'll get it. Ah, Sonic Adventure 2 reference.
Nightwing, I'm having none of the luck finding the jewel thief.
Keep
Animation.
looking, Starfire. They couldn't have got him far. Try retracing your steps.
Wait a
Nightwing
minute.
out.
Wait a minute. Is that a cold steel? I don't think so, that is. For a good fight, call Akuma.
Nightwing
Oh,
out.
wow. Ah, Soul Emerald.
Finally, now I can leave this strange dimension.
I have found you, thief of the red jewel. Return what you have stolen, or... We are going to be the greatest of friends. We
Oh,
shall
wow.
celebrate Blowdog together, and I will order the mustard with...
Don't you dare touch me again!
Okay, we don't have to be friends, but you must hand over that jewel.
I am the guardian of these emeralds, and I will not let you take them!
All right. Starbolts. You know, not bad for pixel animation. I give it that. Ah, Drill Whisk.
Dodge this.
Apparently a laser whisk.
Oh no! Too high! Too high!
Yeah, oh boy.
I am sorry to disappoint you, but I am stronger than I look.
So, you like to play with fire? Then let's play!
Oh, really? You're shipping a burning blaze for it. So far, so good. It's an even stalemate. Wait, she can still use whisk in her burning form? Nice animation. Oh, come on, the lasers.
You can't escape me!
She's not letting you through.
I won't.
Don't give up, Star!
Don't you dare to give up, Starfire.
Ah, power of friendship.
Starfire? Starfire, can you hear me?
In fearful day, in raging night, with strong hearts full,
Blue
our
Lantern.
souls ignite. When all seems lost, and the war of life
No, you don't! Look to the stars! For hope burns bright!
This is actually pretty cool. I like this.
What the?
World-shattering dimensions.
We could have been friends.
Okay,
You chose this.
she just won her emeralds back. Stop.
Giving up already? Come on, Blaze. I thought you were stronger than that.
Of course, Sonic motivates her. Remove constructs out of her. I didn't know she could be able to do that, but I'm sure they'll explain this in the ending. Nice! She is dual wielding with swords. I'm guessing she did take training, that was true.
No more! No! I won't fall here! Not with my friend Nathan!
She's pierced through
How
this.
is she this powerful? Wait, that energy. Maybe I can. How? Dodging that! Yes! I can absorb it! I can. What's going on? No!
Oh dear. A bit too much for her to handle.
How could she have absorbed the Soul Emerald's power? It's impossible unless... she's like me. Which means... I can stop this!
You can. Okay. What just happened?
Hope. I have hope there is another time and place where we are friends.
Same.
Strangely, I hope so too.
Aww. That would have been friends.
And this is why you shouldn't try to hug cats, but wow, that fight was nuts. Are both of them actually capable of all that?
Well,
That's a good
yes.
question.
While Blaze had more
Really?
advantages in the fight overall, these two were equal in a surprising amount of ways.
Their skills and power sets bounce so well off each other that this was honestly pretty
Death
tricky
Battle
to
would
figure
disagree.
out. So let's go through the relevant categories one by one. How do they
Oh,
fare in
you
the
do it.
speed department?
Both combatants hail from universes known for their insane speed feats, but StarFire consistently struggles to keep up with higher tier DC fighters. Even if we highball her interstellar travel feats, she can't keep up with Blaze's teleportation, outspeeding Knuckles, or moving in spaces unbound by time. In fact, StarFire's best showing of speed comes from Teen Titans Go.
We're not kidding.
No.
Apparently, this Starfire did jumping jacks so fast that she nearly disrupted the space-time continuum.
Wow,
However, she wasn't
that
fully
is
in
sad.
control and was able to hear Robin telling her to stop, which means she wasn't fully out of sync with the normal flow of time. The fairest interpretation is that she approached immeasurable speed but didn't quite reach it.
Even if she did,
Got it.
Blaze has multiple feats of directly achieving immeasurable speed on her own and scaling to it via Sonic. Even with the small boost from the Blue Lantern ring, StarFire
Blaze did defeat Knuckles who is a martial arts master, but the fight happened so fast that it's unclear if it was due to her superior stats, her ability to match and master martial arts, or both.
can't reliably compete with Burning Blaze.
Sure, Starfire's managed to hit one or two DC characters who could supposedly achieve immeasurable speed, but they clearly weren't going their fastest during these incidents. Admittedly, comparing any two fighters' immeasurable speed feats does get into weird and cerebral territory. While our combatants are in the same ballpark, Blaze just has more consistently high showings, and she doesn't need a multi-week nap after going that fast. Point for Blaze.
That's true.
Both Blaze and Starfire
She
have
gets the
surprising
speed category.
similarities when it comes to battle instincts and strategic thinking. They often defer to their teammates for plans, but both have shown they can cleverly think around a problem when needed. Both also have tempers that can create openings for their opponents, but that's where the similarities end, and
Both Blaze and Starfire are respectively enough to notice personality flaws in others, but neither are ruthless enough to exploit them in a fight. Instead, they opt to overpower each other, then target their weaknesses.
Starfire demonstrates her clear advantage.
While Blaze has taken steps to mitigate her acrophobia, if she's caught off guard, her concentration can waver and cause her to get blindsided more easily. Also, Blaze's techniques and fighting style are extremely telegraphed and showy, making them quite predictable compared to Starfire. While Blaze has trained for years to be the Soul Emerald's guardian, that was mostly done on her own. Corey has formal combat training with the Okarans, on top of years scrimmaging with a team to prepare for anything related to battle. Point for Starfire.
Experience isn't as cut and dry as you might think. Starfire has many more examples of fighting dozens of diverse, multiversal level enemies, whereas with Blaze, you can count those types of foes on one hand. That we've seen anyway. However, when it comes to comparing their win-loss records, Corey comes up a bit short.
But hold on, there's nuance to this. Yes,
Really?
Starfire loses all the time, and that's really annoying from a narrative standpoint.
Yeah, I
and
hated
from a
that
fan
too.
standpoint. But look at the people she loses to. People like Orion, Mongol, and Wonder Woman. She got her teeth kicked
The
in,
most
sure,
powerful
but the
characters
fact
in
that she
DC
fought them
Comics.
and didn't die should not be discounted.
Yeah, to say that Blaze is more experienced based on that would just be disingenuous. Plus, Corey has fought plenty of foes like Blaze. Vice versa, not so much, but she still faces.
In all fairness, the DC universe, the DC Comics, has a longer history and longer lore than most medias in modern day.
A pretty significant number of foes. Tough call, but Starfire gets a slight edge here.
In fact, Starfire had a lot of natural counters to Blaze's extra arsenal. Her powerful mental resistance could resist the confusion and stun items, and even though the Indigo Wisp could easily nullify her starbolts, Corey's insane durability would allow her to resist being turned into mulch.
While the Blue Lantern Ring could potentially heal Starfire or supercharge her regular powers with a surge of positive emotion.
Even with a Blue Lantern Ring was at full power, Starfire could not nullify Blaze's pyrokinesis, since Blaze's fire is tied to her soul, not her emotions. Thus, since the Cast Emeralds could nullify Solaris, regeneration, it can be assumed that the equivalent Soul Emeralds can nullify Blue Lantern's regeneration.
Like Hope, a Blue Lantern's usual augmentations are severely hampered in a mono-e-mono fight like this because it requires a Green Lantern ring in close proximity to reach its full potential. Without that, the most it's able to provide is a small power boost and simple energy constructs.
And while Starfire's no slouch with strategy or creativity, we don't know how effective she'd actually be using those constructs without a lot of speculation. Thanks, Hal. Ultimately, the Soul Emeralds gave Blaze
Hal
an edge
Jordan,
that
you did
Starfire
mess
didn't really
her up.
have an answer to, except for maybe one.
I say it was
her
New 52,
absorption.
Hal Jordan.
Starfire has managed to absorb several unusual kinds of energy, but it has its limitations. She can't absorb her own starbolts, and despite her
The Kryptonian Starfire absorbed solar energy from was far weaker than Superman, and the process took a lot more time than Blaze could allow. Additionally, given how she often gets defeated by Superman, there's likely a limit to whom Starfire can absorb power from.
her name and that it's literally coming off her hair, Starfire has actually never been shown to absorb fire. Yes, fire can sometimes emit ultraviolet light, but that very much depends on the fuel source. And considering that Blaze's flames are red and
It depends on what kind of fire it is,
it's
basically.
unlikely Starfire would be able to absorb ultraviolet energy from them, or the energy of the Soul
I
Emeralds, which
assume
are
that she
tied to
can,
that
but no.
element.
Even assuming, arguendo, that Starfire can absorb the Soul Emerald's energy.
Starfire can sun dip like Superman, as Tamaranians can only store energy so much before exploding, while she can absorb more energy than a typical Tamaranian due to the poison experiments. There's no indication that Starfire's energy limits has been completely removed.
There was way too much that could go wrong from that.
You
Stark could
know
fall
what? That
unconscious
can
from the
actually make
foreignness of
sense.
the energy, or
That
explode
makes
from the
sense.
sheer amount of multiversal power, or the Soul Emeralds refusing to play nice. Blaze, on the other hand,
That
could
too?
just quickly dip into another dimension for a safe recharge. Or, since Starfire and Blaze are so similar, given that Blaze was able to seal Iblis within her based on merely connection to flames, it's almost 100% likely that Blaze would just seal Starfire away within her own soul, immediately, and anticlimactically, ending the fight.
Oh, it actually gets
That
worse
good.
for Starfire.
Wow.
While she has strong resistance to mental manipulation, Starfire has consistently shown no resistances to spiritual or physical manipulation, including transmutation, meaning Blaze could just use
That is
ring
also
time
true.
to turn Starfire into a ring. Yeah, I know, it's underwhelming, but Blaze has far too many achievable ways to debilitate Starfire or instantly end the fight, several of which she doesn't need to be in burning Blaze form to accomplish.
But hold on again, there's nuance to this one too. While
Okay.
Blaze has these abilities, they aren't her preferred options.
Blaze can erase beings of fire, but since she can't erase Iblis, it's unlikely that this power would work completely on someone as powerful as Starfire. So it might at least weaken her, given the fire that naturally spawns out of her hair.
She usually relies on brute force,
Okay.
with strategic thinking as a backup plan. It might take time for her to realize that she needs her more obscure powers to pull out the win, which could favor Starfire. Except Starfire shares a similar approach. Additionally, Blaze has shown increasing willingness to adapt and use her other abilities to buy time when needed. Blaze takes a strong edge in abilities.
But assuming Blaze doesn't get any chances to instantly end the fight, can she actually overpower Starfire?
Well, let's take a look at both our combatants' most cited stalemates. While Sonic and Blaze can be comfortably put on the same level, Corey and Diana can't. Not only was
No.
Corey on the back foot with Wonder Girl's help, Diana was holding back and was about to cut loose before they were interrupted. Against a serious Wonder Woman, Starfire's gonna lose. Hard. Which
Yes.
is so not fair.
Starfire's incredible
That is true. Wonder Woman would destroy her in a fight. A serious Wonder Woman possessed by Trigon in that New 52 animation, yet Starfire did not stand a chance.
strength and durability varies greatly due to a multitude of factors, so her stats are tricky to lock down. The times
Right.
Starfire held her own against other high-powered characters in the DC universe, such as Sinestro, Firestorm, or hell, even Superman, this is often due to unusual circumstances, such as her opponents holding back immensely, or they were weakened, subdued, or distracted by other fighters. Whether on her own or on a team, she's lost a fair few times against weaker characters in her universe.
But to be fair, that's usually because Starfire holds back too, and because 50 years of writers
Okay.
are always on the same page. Sure, Starfire's scaling is different since most
Yeah,
of her
different
feats involve
writers have different
losing,
opinions
but
and different
even
ways to change the
downscaling from those
character.
losses still
The fact Starfire feats of killing an exorcism demon and igniting the Spectre in the Justice League Odyssey can fully credit to her, as she had temporarily power boosts from Darkseid's machinations during these incidents, and needed Cyborg's help to stay stable. Even if we allow both feats of her powers at this point, isn't guaranteed to surpass Burning Blaze.
likely put her at multiversal. In fact, a relatively safe scaling chain through Connor Kent, a weakened Superboy Prime, and a weakened Anti-Monitor puts her near infinite multiverse. Close, though not quite. Can Blaze actually top that?
Turns out, she can. While we don't see much of Burning Blaze,
Okay.
it is shown to be directly comparable to Supersonic, which is on a ridiculous level of power. Emerald
Yes, it
Superforms
is.
have defeated Superdimensional
Supersonic is
God,
too
which could
OP.
erase all timelines and dimensions
Unless
in
he's
the
up against
infinite
Mario,
Sonic
who has a
cosmology
rainbow power
twice,
star.
or foes who could create infinite dimensions. Heck, Blaze was able to directly defeat guys who could create dimensions transcending dimensions. Twice!
Even though he needed some help, Sonic could still defeat the End, a being claiming to be infinite compared to all of Sonic's adversaries.
The DC universe has higher cosmology than Sonic the Hedgehog's universe. Even with the recent buffs from Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, however, it's less relevant than being Starfire hasn't demonstrated the power of other capable impacting her universe higher cosmology of her own.
series, including Solaris and the Time Eater. Even if we don't take the
I'm
end at
trying
its
my
word,
best to
you know,
read. My
it's
bad.
kind of a biased
If I
source,
butcher some of
Burning Blaze
these.
still matches the tier of infinite multiverse versus Starfire's at best almost infinite
Plus my throat's in
multiverse.
pain.
In a cosmic sort of way, one is technically bigger than the other.
If the end wasn't just gassing itself up, then that would make a single Chaos Emerald Superform, which, again, a Soul Emerald Superform matches, at minimum, more powerful than several infinities combined. And all
That's
of
insane.
this is just from the video games. If we calculated her power using feats from the Archie comics,
It would bump Blaze up in power, but it would actually be an overall downgrade. It didn't showcase anything on the level of Supersonic's reality warping feats, despite them technically being capable of the same things.
Right.
Archie Blaze's fire also requires oxygen, unlike Game Blaze, whose fire can burn underwater. She also loses a lot.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, she needs oxygen for her fire powers because they try to add realism in the Archie universe from the old timeline due to different writers. Yeah, she loses a lot in the Archie universe. A SWAT bot getting tripped over, beat by one of the robots from the pirates, a Metal Sonic copy, and a greedy Rouge the Bat who elbowed her in the head, who wants to steal the emerald for a gun.
Two really weak enemies.
That said, the Jeweled Scepter got a significant
Yeah, to
power
weaker
boost
enemies,
as
she
it
loses a
actually
lot.
protected her dimension from the Super Genesis wave, literally rewriting their infinite multiverse's reality.
Yeah, fun fact about this scene, Ken Pender's lawsuit happened due to sending a lawsuit towards Sega for the creation of the game Sonic Chronicles and the Dark Brotherhood. They think they stole his ideas, like Shade the Echidna, even though Shade was made for that game. You should have sued BioWare. They made the game. Sega and Archie can no longer use certain characters from Archie, so they can only use the game characters, the SatAM, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and put them in the games and make some new characters. So this whole Archie rebooted the whole universe with the games timeline, but with SatAM and Adventures of Sonic elements. So yeah, her world survives because she's a game character.
So there's that, I guess.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. Blaze takes this one too. Maybe we're totally off our rockers and underestimating Starfire's power, especially with the Blue Lantern Ring's boost. I'm very much on that side. But even then, it wouldn't change anything because she still can't outspeed Blaze or counter all of her win conditions. We were honestly expecting the result to be the other way around. Especially
That's
me,
fair.
considering Corey is Flame Princess Superman and Blaze is Flame Princess Sonic.
Almost. While Blaze is on par with
Okay, Blaze, low diff, forces Starfire into another dimension. Ring time, mid diff. Soul stealing, erasing Starfire's energy, high diff. Kill Starfire before Burning Blaze would run out. Starfire, high diff, forces Burning Blaze to run out and kill her before she can escape and recharge, or kill Blaze before she could transform into Burning Blaze.
Sonic in their narrative. In pretty much every DC continuity, Starfire isn't on par with Superman. She says so herself. In fact, Starfire
That
has
is true.
openly admitted multiversal and/or godlike entities like Sinar, the Demiurge, and Darkseid are out of her league and should be handled by others such as Superman or the Green Lantern Corps. That's not to say she's weak. Far from it. She's just
No.
a relatively small fish in a really big pond.
Starfire's
She knows
feats
her
place
limits.
her near Blaze's power level at the very
Okay, Blaze is stronger in Burning Blaze, consistently faster, multiple achievements in her wins conditions, more useful and reliable in power sets, equal several durable feats, equaled in temper causes to mistakes and openings and weaknesses, and fear of heights risk is even more, and Burning Blaze has a time limit. Starfire, stronger in her base form, superior combat skills and experience, counters surviving many abilities, equal temper causes to make mistakes, and equal in several durable feats. Her downside, a more doggy-like indirect power scaling, powers and stamina drain quickly, solo Blue Lantern Ring barely helps, absorption is ineffective or unreliable.
very least, but not enough to significantly overpower her or scale that high in the DC hierarchy.
Right.
Has Star fought characters on that level? Absolutely. But does she scale high enough and reliably enough to make a difference against Blaze and overcome her abilities? Almost, but no.
In the end, Blaze's multiple
almost, but
paths
no.
to victory.
Both universes was unclear canon that requires a lot of personal interpretations and judgments about both what's fair to include or exclude. Overall, we could not find anything that reliable but to put Starfire above Blaze's level.
And more reliable power set edged out Starfire's formidable physiology and breadth of experience.
Some stars fade, but at least Corey went out in a blaze of glory.
The winner
Gotta
is
have a pun.
Blaze the Cat.
Gotta have a fire pun. Fury fan fight. Oh, there's more to this. Oh. Okay.
Miss, are you well?
What?
Oh.
It is all right.
Oh, the best, the Starfire I'm familiar with.
You... What?
Yeah, you came from that thing.
Yeah, I'll go fix it.
You fell out of that rift in dimensions.
Yeah, you're capable of doing that, Starfire.
Whoever your opponent was,
Raven. I don't know why I
they
said
did not
Starfire.
survive.
You're capable of doing that, Raven.
See. The Soul Emeralds are missing again. I must find them immediately.
Oh, would you like the help?
I don't need...
Come on.
Actually, yes. I would be thankful for your aid.
Wonderful! I truly hope we can be the best of friends.
Aww.
How do I always attract these types?
Because you're a favorite. That was a nice ending, a happy ending. I'm like, a certain show doesn't do that. Doesn't do happy endings like that sometimes. That was a wholesome one. It was really good. All of y'all did an amazing job. This was fantastic. Great work, Josh. Great work, everyone. Next time, oh wait, what you got next time? In the underground depths, a new king faces a true hero. What will decide the victory? Positivity or determination? Oh! Okay. Versus Undyne. Zidane versus Undyne. Legend of Zelda. A Legend of Zelda versus Undertale. Okay, I like that. I actually like that. Well, that was Starfire versus Blaze the Cat on Triple F by Josh Scorcher's channel. This was a fun battle. They did an amazing job. Shout out to everyone who worked on this. Josh and his wife did an amazing job. This was really good. I was entertained. I know I might have talked a lot more, but that's what I do. I'm a fan of both DC and Sonic. I would say a lot more. That's why I had to talk a lot more, mostly because you know how YouTube is these days. But other than that, these guys, they did an amazing job. Please support their channel. What were your thoughts on this battle? Did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments down below. What were your favorite parts? What did you like about this? Did you think Starfire should have won, or Blaze should have remained the victor? Let me know in the comments down below. Either way, by the end of this is just for fun. Take care, have a great day, be safe, nothing taken too seriously about this. This is just for fun. Stay safe out there, and most importantly, stay frosty and stay healthy out there. Catch y'all later, and make sure to wash your hands. Bye-bye.